What if I told you that Roman Reigns getting his sneakers stolen by Bronson Reed wasn't humiliation? It was calculated. What if the Tribal Chief's entire comeback story is actually his master plan to exit WWE without destroying his legacy? August 18th, 2025 in Chicago wasn't about reclaiming dominance. It was about Roman Reigns executing the most brilliant career exit strategy in wrestling history. And the evidence? It's been hiding in plain sight this entire time. Welcome back to WWE Report, where we uncover the truth behind wrestling's biggest mysteries. I'm about to expose something that will change how you see Roman Reigns forever. For 300 plus days, Roman was untouchable as Undisputed Champion. But since losing at WrestleMania 41, every single move he's made follows the same pattern: strategic vulnerability designed to make him look beatable. The sneaker theft by Bronson Reed? Jey Uso's heroic rescue? Even that Superman punch comeback on Raw? It's all part of Roman's exit blueprint. Today, I'm connecting dots that WWE doesn't want you to see, revealing how the Tribal Chief is using Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman, and even his own cousin to orchestrate the perfect Hollywood departure. Stick around, because this goes deeper than you think. Let's start with the most obvious evidence. Roman's sudden vulnerability timeline perfectly aligns with Hollywood opportunities. After holding the Undisputed Championship for over 1,300 days, Roman loses at WrestleMania 41 and immediately takes a hiatus. But here's what WWE didn't tell you. During that exact period, Roman was in Los Angeles meeting with Marvel executives about potential roles. Now look at his return strategy. July 28th, 2025 at Little Caesars Arena, Roman rushes to save Jey Uso but gets overwhelmed by Reed and Braun Breaker. The man who dominated for 4 years suddenly can't handle two opponents? Dave Meltzer on Busted Open called Reed's sneaker theft a prison-style power move, but what if it was Roman's idea? Think about it, those custom Air Jordans weren't just stolen randomly. They were gifted by Anoa'i family elders, symbolizing his Tribal Chief status. Roman allowed Reed to take them because he needed a storyline that would gradually diminish his untouchable aura. You don't accidentally let someone steal your most sacred possessions unless you want them stolen. The August 4th incident proves this further. Reed steals another pair of Roman's Jordans after another brutal attack. But watch the footage closely. Roman's selling is different. He's not selling like the dominant champion who never stayed down. He's selling like someone who wants to look vulnerable. Even CM Punk's trolling tweet, "Better get new kicks, OTC," plays into this narrative of Roman being mockable. Here's the smoking gun. Roman's hiatus timing coincided with Fast and Furious 11 casting calls. Wrestling Observer reported Roman had scheduling conflicts during his absence. Conflicts with what? Hollywood meetings. The sneaker theft gave him the perfect storyline to return as a sympathetic figure rather than the dominant heel everyone was tired of. WWE's own poll showed 98% of fans back Roman as the true Tribal Chief, but that's exactly what he needed: fan sympathy instead of fan fatigue. By allowing Reed to humiliate him, Roman transformed from an overpushed champion into an underdog worth cheering for. It's brilliant psychology, and it's working. Now let's talk about Jey Uso's heroic sneaker heist on August 12th, because this wasn't family loyalty, this was Roman's insurance policy. Jey's entire involvement in this storyline serves one purpose: making Roman's eventual departure look like a family decision rather than a selfish Hollywood grab. Look at the timeline. Jey went solo after Roman's WrestleMania loss, chasing his own glory as the main event YET master. But suddenly, when Roman needs him most, Jey's back? That backstage segment where Jey confronted Reed, retrieved one pair of Reigns sneakers, and handed them to the Tribal Chief wasn't spontaneous, it was scripted to perfection. The WWE Universe ate it up, with hashtag Bloodline Brotherhood trending, but here's what they missed: Jey's heist was too perfect. According to backstage reports, Jey used a hairpin from a production assistant to pick Reed's lock, avoided security, and executed a flawless escape. Since when is Jey Uso a master thief? Since Roman needed him to be. That heart-melting moment where Jey found Roman backstage, still reeling from the earlier brawl, and tossed the sneakers to his cousin? Roman's reaction was pure respect, but watch his eyes. He's not surprised. He's relieved his plan worked. For the first time in years, the cousins shared a nod of unity, because Roman finally had his exit strategy in motion. Here's the deeper game. Jey's heroics establish him as Roman's worthy successor. When Roman eventually leaves for Hollywood, it won't be abandonment, it'll be passing the torch to family. The Anoa'i legacy continues, fans get a new hero to rally behind, and Roman gets his clean exit. But there's more evidence in Jey's behavior. His daring heist included a chase scene where Reed's 330 pounds thundering down the hallway while Jey dodging crew members and equipment. Crew members posted on X about the chaos, but notice how none of them questioned why Jey had such easy access to the heel locker room. Because it was all arranged. The most telling detail? That Instagram moment where the WWE Universe went wild, chanting YET as the moment aired. Roman's team knew exactly which moments to capture and promote. This wasn't organic fan reaction, it was manufactured sentiment to build Jey's credibility as Roman's replacement. Even Wrestling Observer's report about the silent promise to take down Reed and Breakker reveals the truth. Roman isn't promising to dominate, he's promising to help Jey look strong before he exits. Every family unity moment is actually Roman setting up his succession plan. Here's where the conspiracy gets really deep. Paul Heyman isn't Roman's enemy, he's his Hollywood agent. That betrayal at WrestleMania 41 where Heyman turned his back on the tribal chief? It was the opening move in Roman's exit strategy, and Heyman's been playing double agent ever since. Look at Heyman's actions since the split. He's leading a faction with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, but notice how their attacks on Roman are always perfectly timed to make Roman look sympathetic, not destroyed. At the SummerSlam 2025 kickoff, when Reed, Breakker, and Paul Heyman gloated about the theft, Heyman's body language told a different story. He wasn't celebrating Roman's humiliation, he was managing Roman's image transformation. The smoking gun? Heyman's been whispering in Reed's ear, convincing him that taking down Roman will cement Reed as a main event star. But what if those whispers were actually instructions on how to make Roman look vulnerable without actually hurting his long-term value? Reed thinks he's being pushed as the next big thing, but he's actually being used as Roman's stepping stone to Hollywood. Here's the evidence, every attack on Roman has been strategically non-damaging. Reed's tsunami splashes look devastating but never cause real injury. The sneaker thefts are humiliating but not physically harmful. Even that August 18th confrontation where Roman spears Reed, snatches his sneakers, and hits a Superman punch on Breakker, Roman looked strong enough to satisfy fans but not so dominant that he overshadowed Reed's push. Heyman's real role becomes clear when you examine his faction's booking. Seth Rollins, supposedly part of Heyman's group, was conveniently sidelined with a knee injury at Saturday night's main event. Without their supposed leader, Reed and Breakker were acting on Heyman's orders, but their plan backfired. Or did it work exactly as intended? The most damning evidence is Heyman's media strategy. He's been calling Reed the new power in WWE and dubbing him the tribal thief, but notice how he always mentions Roman's legacy in the same breath. He's not burying Roman, he's repositioning him as a legend who's passing the torch. That's Hollywood agent talk, not heel manager rhetoric. Even that moment where Heyman fueled the fire by having Reed wave Roman's sneakers, it generated exactly the fan sympathy Roman needed. The WWE Universe wasn't turning on Roman, they were rallying behind him. Heyman knows that sympathetic babyfaces transition to Hollywood better than dominant heels. The timeline proves it, Heyman's betrayal coincided with Roman's first Hollywood meetings. His faction's formation gave Roman the perfect antagonist for his exit storyline. And his management of Reed ensures Roman has a credible threat who can eventually retire him without damaging his legacy. The most damning evidence of Roman's exit strategy lies in the timeline. Every major storyline development perfectly aligns with Hollywood production schedules and casting windows. This isn't coincidence, it's coordination. Roman's WrestleMania 41 loss happened in April 2025. Fast and Furious 11 began pre-production in May 2025. Roman's hiatus lasted exactly through pilot season, June through July, when major studios finalized their casting for upcoming projects. He returns August 12th, right after the Hollywood summer break ends. That's not wrestling booking, that's Hollywood scheduling. But here's where it gets deeper. The sneaker theft storyline provides Roman with the perfect injury angle excuse for future absences. Wrestling Observer noted that Roman had scheduling conflicts during his hiatus, but conflicts with what? WWE never explained. Now we know, he was in meetings with Marvel, Universal, and Warner Brothers. The August 18th Raw comeback in Chicago wasn't about reclaiming dominance, it was about testing his new vulnerable hero character with a major market audience. Chicago's reaction would determine if Roman's image transformation was working. The crowd losing it when Roman's music hits and chanting Tribal Chief proved his strategy succeeded. Here's the smoking gun, Roman's merchandise sales. WWE's internal reports show that Roman's merch sales increased after the sneaker theft, not decreased. Fans weren't buying dominant champion Roman anymore, they were buying sympathetic underdog Roman. That's exactly the image Hollywood wants for action heroes. The booking of his August 25th match against Reed in a no disqualification stipulation is telling. No DQ matches are perfect for career-ending injuries that are actually planned departures. Roman can take a devastating bump, sell a serious injury, and exit for medical reasons while actually heading to movie sets. Even more suspicious, WWE's sudden push of Jacob Fatu alongside Roman. Fatu's involvement isn't about strengthening the bloodline, it's about having another Anoa'i family member ready to carry the legacy when Roman leaves. The family doesn't lose their WWE presence, and Roman gets his Hollywood freedom. The most revealing detail comes from Wrestling Insider reports about Roman's contract negotiations. Sources say Roman's new deal includes flexible scheduling for outside projects. That's not a wrestling contract, that's a part-time performer agreement designed around movie production schedules. Look at the pattern, Roman loses title, April, takes hiatus during pilot season, May-July, returns with sympathetic storyline, August, builds toward retirement match, September, exits during fall movie production season, October. It's a perfect Hollywood transition timeline disguised as wrestling storytelling. Even CM Punk's trolling tweet, "Better get new kicks, OTC," takes on new meaning. Punk knows the business. His mockery wasn't about Roman being weak, it was about Roman's transparent exit strategy. Get new kicks because you're walking away from wrestling into movies. The final piece of evidence that exposes Roman's exit strategy lies in what WWE isn't showing you, the behind-the-scenes coordination that makes this storyline possible. Every spontaneous moment has been carefully orchestrated to serve Roman's Hollywood transition. First, examine the production value of Roman's comeback moments. That August 18th segment where Roman spears Reed, snatches his sneakers, and hits a Superman punch on Breakker was shot with multiple camera angles, perfect lighting, and cinematic quality that screams highlight reel for casting directors. WWE doesn't typically give that production treatment to random Raw segments unless they're building someone's demo reel. The social media strategy reveals even more. Posts like Corey Hayes 407's Reigns got his shoes back, Reed's done trended worldwide, but the trending was artificially boosted. WWE's social media team coordinated the hashtag campaigns to create the illusion of organic fan support for Roman's comeback. They needed proof that Roman could still generate mainstream buzz for Hollywood executives. Here's what's really telling: the absence of Roman's usual backstage interviews during this storyline. For 4 years as champion, Roman did extensive media. Now, radio silence except for carefully scripted in-ring segments. That's because unscripted Roman might accidentally reveal his Hollywood plans. The booking of Solo Sikoa's weakened but dangerous faction serves Roman's exit perfectly. Solo's loss to Roman at Tribal Combat wasn't about Roman's dominance, it was about establishing Solo as a credible threat who could eventually retire Roman. The Wrestling Observer's suggestion that Wyatt 6 could exploit Reigns' focus on Reed sets up multiple exit scenarios for Roman to choose from. Most damning is the merchandise evidence WWE won't discuss. Roman's new Tribal Chief shirts feature different imagery, less dominant, more heroic. His Jordan collaborations have shifted from championship themes to legacy themes. Even his entrance music has subtle changes that make it sound more nostalgic than dominant. These aren't random creative decisions, they're rebranding for his Hollywood transition. The timeline of Roman's family unity moments with Jey reveals the coordination. Every heartfelt bloodline reunion happens exactly when Roman needs positive press for Hollywood meetings. That silent promise to take down Reed and Breaker moment was filmed and promoted the same week Roman was reportedly meeting with action movie producers. Even the fan poll showing 98% of fans back Reigns as the true tribal chief was strategically timed. WWE needed that data to show Hollywood that Roman still has mainstream appeal despite his vulnerable new character. It's market research disguised as fan engagement. The most revealing evidence? WWE's sudden interest in documenting this storyline for their streaming content. Multiple camera crews have been following Roman's journey with Reed, creating footage that serves no current storyline purpose, unless it's being compiled for a farewell documentary that will air after Roman's Hollywood departure. Wrestling fans, we've just uncovered the most elaborate exit strategy in WWE history. Roman Reigns isn't fighting to reclaim his dominance, he's orchestrating his departure to Hollywood while protecting his legacy and setting up his family's future in WWE. The sneaker theft, Jey's heroic rescue, Paul Heyman's betrayal, and even Bronson Reed's push, it's all part of Roman's master plan. The evidence is overwhelming: the Hollywood timeline, the strategic vulnerability, the merchandise rebranding, the social media coordination, and the careful image transformation from dominant heel to sympathetic hero. Roman learned from The Rock's transition: you don't leave wrestling as a villain, you leave as a beloved legend. What's next? Watch for Roman's retirement match announcement, probably at Survivor Series. He'll face either Reed, Solo, or a returning Seth Rollins in a match designed to write him off television permanently. But instead of retirement, he'll be on movie sets. The real question isn't whether Roman will leave, it's whether WWE fans will realize they've been watching the greatest work in wrestling history. Drop your thoughts below. Are you convinced by this evidence, or do you think Roman's comeback is genuine? And what other WWE storylines might be Hollywood exit strategies in disguise? Smash that like button if this opened your eyes, subscribe for more conspiracy breakdowns, and hit the bell because we're just getting started exposing wrestling's biggest secrets. Until next time, acknowledge the truth, and keep questioning everything you see.